A basis point is a unit equal to 1/100th of a percentage point, or 1 part per 10,000, 1/10,000. The same unit is also called a permyriad, literally meaning for myriad. If used interchangeably, the permyriad is potentially confusing because an increase of 1 basis point to a 10 basis point value is generally understood to mean an increase to 11 basis points. Not an increase of 1 part in 10,000, meaning an increase to 10.001 basis points. A permyriad is written with U plus 2031 a euro plus or minus per 10,000 sign, which looks like a percent sign with 3 zeros to the right of the slash and permille signs. A basis point is defined as 1 basis point equals 1 permyriad equals 1/100th percent, 1 BP equals 1 a euro plus or minus equals 0.01% equals 0.1 a euro equals 10 a 4 equals 1 a 10,000 equals 0.0001, 1% equals 100 BP equals 100 a euro plus or minus. Basis points are used as a convenient unit of measurement in contexts where percentage differences of less than 1% are discussed. The most common example is interest rates, where differences in interest rates of less than 1% per year are usually meaningful to talk about. For example, a difference of 0.10 percentage points is equivalent to a change of 10 basis points. In other words, an increase of 100 basis points means a rise of 1%. Like percentage points, basis points avoid the ambiguity between relative and absolute discussions about interest rates by dealing only with the absolute change in numeric value of a rate. For example, if a report says there has been a 1% increase from a 10% interest rate, this could refer to an increase either from 10% to 10.1%, or from 10% to 11%. If, however, the report says there has been a 100 basis point increase from a 10% interest rate, then we know that the interest rate of 10% has increased by 1.00% to an 11% rate. It is common practice in the financial industry to use basis points to denote a rate change in a financial instrument, or the difference between two interest rates, including the yields of fixed income securities. Since certain loans and bonds may commonly be quoted in relation to some index or underlying security, they will often be quoted as a spread over the index. For example, a loan that bears interest of 0.50% per annum above the London interbank offered rate is said to be 50 basis points over LIBOR, which is commonly expressed as L plus 50 BPS, or simply L plus 50. The term basis point has its origins in trading the basis, or the spread between two interest rates. Since the basis is usually small, these are quoted multiplied up by 10,000, and hence a full point movement in the basis is a basis point. Contrast with pips in FX forward markets. The relationship between percentage changes and basis points can be summarized as follows: 1 percentage point change equals 100 basis points, and 0.01 percentage points equals 1 basis point. So, a bond whose yield increases from 5% to 5.5% is said to increase by 50 basis points. Or interest rates that have risen 1 percentage point are said to have increased by 100 basis points. See also, percentage point, percent 1 part in 100, permille 1 part in 1000, parts per notation, percentage in point, TIG size, references.